Pierre.
What's up, Luke? Good to see you again, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. Yeah, man, it's really great to have you back. We'll just let people know that Pierre and I actually got together the other day, and we talked for I think at least half an hour, and we had really a good conversation. And for whatever reason, it kind of let out. I think we had a Wi-Fi connection problem, so we're just going to pick up basically and carry on the conversations, and we'll fill in the blanks as we go, I think.
Yeah, it was very strange. Like I never have Wi-Fi issues,
Mm.
and it actually just dropped, uh, which was like I was like, whoa. And we were getting onto some pretty deep stuff. Like it was like it was at a point where I was like, I don't know if I should be saying what I'm saying right now. And the Wi-Fi cut. I was like, it looks like I'm not. No. And I was like,
I
that's
think the Illuminati was listening in and just couldn't handle the truth we were dropping.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, man, we were just we were just kind of meandering along and just chatting it up, and we just sort of organically sort of stumbled upon, I guess, just talking about spirituality in general and sort of some of our experiences with that, and we diverted a little bit into plant medicines, into psychedelics, and I talked a little bit about my experience with psilocybin mushrooms, and some of my experience with ayahuasca, which I've covered. So anyone who's following the channel, I've talked about that before several times. So it's no fucking surprise. But then you were talking a little bit about some of your experiences with some of this stuff.
Yeah, man. We touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
That I wasn't sure if you wanted to go there, so I had to make sure you were cool with it. I was like, "What kind of mushrooms, Luke?"
Ha! Yeah, he did.
I had to like
I
see what
actually
people are.
I
I
went
had to
back.
like I had to see if you're all right with going there first.
I went back and looked at the vid because I recorded some of it, and it just to check it out. It was kind of funny as I was talking. I looked at your face, and I could see like the gears turning, and he was like, "Wait a minute, what kind of mushrooms?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, totally, man. Yeah, it's a good conversation. Let's continue the thread, man.
yeah, bro.
Um,
So you dipped in a little bit with the 5-MeO DMT, is that right?
yeah. I've tried 5-MeO DMT a few times,
Mm-hmm.
and have been very blessed to have conscious friends in my life who uh, told me about their experiences, and we were in a very safe place and up at the cottage, and where I got to experience that incredible molecule that has been uh, has been very accurate. Um, has been very accurately connected to the experience of death.
Mm-hmm.
A massive study was done by a university in London, and you can take a look at it online, where they compared near death experiences with DMT,
Mm-hmm.
and they're strikingly similar.
Mm-hmm.
And before reading this article, I had the same thought. I was like, I think that's what it feels like to die. uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's wild. It's strange to talk about these things, especially when on a recording and like in public. I've never done that before. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking out that study by by London University of London,
Mm-hmm.
and checking that out. It's pretty
Mm-hmm.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely, man, absolutely. Well, we know that DMT is produce is bursts. There's bursts of DMT released when you die for whatever reason. So we know that, and we know that you're accessing DMT during your REM sleep as well, during your deepest sleep. So I mean, we know it's connected to dreaming, and you know what? It's like you can even access it during deep meditation, particularly in float tanks. I don't know if you've ever been in a sensory deprivation tank before. You can even access REM, kind of something similar to REM cycle there, and get DMT blasts. So, dude, totally, man, totally.
I was just googling it to confirm, and yeah, so it's the university, a university in London, and there's several. articles based on it. Try and find the root article if you do decide to search it up,
Hmm.
and it's pretty interesting. But yeah, have you experienced that, like when you're in a deprivation tank, which is
You know
like
what, man?
you've had interest?
Like I've definitely put in a lot of work of meditation. You know, I've put in a lot of hours, a lot of time, and really have just grinded it out. You know, if I don't say so myself. And you know what? I have certainly just my experience in meditation is deep and it is profound. But until and even during some of my psilocybin mushroom experience, I came very close to accessing those realms. I certainly had lessons and profound experience, but for me personally, it really wasn't until my first ayahuasca ceremony when you know, especially because I drank again. Okay, they give you an option to drink a second
Cut.
cup,
Mhm.
and it is, you know, definitely optional. And you know what? But I felt like I felt like it was a good move for me, even though it was my first time. So I, you know, and do not be cocky with ayahuasca. So there's no ego-ness, there's no bragging. But I decided that it was a good move for me. And really, after that second glass, towards the end of my experience, I absolutely had a total and complete total breakthrough to that DMT realm. What, you know, have you ever seen Alex Gray's art before?
I think I've heard about it. So I think a buddy of mine has some of his art
Oh,
at his house. It's amazing. Is
probably.
that like very psychedelic
Yeah,
art that's just like so
yeah,
detailed
yeah.
and beautiful?
So that's probably it. Yeah, it's quite popular. So I
I think there's
absolutely.
a lot of it, but I'm sure it's really nice art, man.
Yeah, yeah. So I absolutely had that experience of those giant sort of multi-dimensional heads cathedral. So it was amazing. So yeah,
Yeah, pretty cool place.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so you were able to sort of get into that realm as well during your experience.
Well, I think everyone's experiences that is on these journeys are very specific, man.
Hmm.
Sometimes there's, yeah, I've heard lots of different stories, and
Hmm.
that seems to be a common one that you just described.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's weird, man. I really had this feeling that we as human beings were building that space. I had this real feeling that we are working here in this life, and the work we do is almost building, creating that incredible space. It was quite amazing. So that alone sort of anchored me in to come back to ayahuasca, because I saw and I earned that space, if I don't say so myself, because I worked hard that first night. So yeah, man. No, that's, yeah, immense.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, those experiences are pretty deep.
Yeah, man, that's cool. So you got into that, and you had some friends who were into that as well.
uh, no, like yeah, depends. Like different homies do have their own take on it.
Hmm.
Some buddies of mine aren't big on psychedelics, and
Hmm.
as in they don't take it frequently, or if they do very small amounts. And to be honest with you, like I don't do it a lot, man. And yeah, I think one of the cool things we were talking about, that's probably the most important part about psychedelics is yesterday that we were speaking about this is the integration aspect. Like you don't just want to like take have these experiences. I don't know, who might say you don't want to, but I
Well,
don't want to have just go to these substance for a release, if you will,
mm, mm,
from the real world. I want to find a way to be immensely free
mm,
in the real world, as free as one feels on psychedelics.
mm,
Now, is that possible? Well, I certainly don't feel that every day, but I've had glimpses of it, like you
mm,
said about meditation.
mm,
I've had glimpses from meditations and after meditations that are profound experiences.
mm,
Just 15 minutes a day.
mm.
That's pretty easy, man. Anyone can meditate for 15 minutes.
Oh,
Uh, and
meditation is absolutely key. Like I'm a total and utter proponent of meditation.
Hmm.
I am an absolute sold on the practice. Yeah, it's so valuable. I absolutely encourage everyone. I see it as not even like a choice. Like you know, you've got to. You really do. So that's my opinion. I think it's so important. Mindfulness and growing awareness, bro. It's where all the power is. It's where all the strength is, I think.
Hmm. Hmm. The strength. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think that you are able to amplify your awareness and your the strength of your frequency of the you know the energy that you're generating within yourself. I believe that during meditation you're working to break down all of the resistance that's within you, and a lot of those are old thought patterns, fucking traumatic shit that happens, or even just stuff that you haven't processed through in your life. The more you can grow that awareness, you break those things down, and so you have this giant awareness of which you can share with other people. It's just more powerful. That's what I see out of it.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
It's definitely a very personal experience.
Hmm. And right, everyone's different. Everyone's different.
It's like sitting there quietly, just like meditating. It's a very personal experience. It's different for everyone. Everyone takes, what they, whatever they, specifically what they need from it because
Hmm.
they're doing
Hmm.
it. So
Hmm.
inevitably, they're going to take what they need to take from that meditation.
And
So it kind of depends on what that person's where they're at.
that's right, but at least it gives you an opportunity, I think, to find out where you're at.
Mhm.
Right? It's like I think a lot of people don't know where they're at. And they're always looking for something to kind of show them. Am I this? Am I that? Who can tell me? And it's like, just as you said, like, it's a personal experience for each person to find out what they need. It's like, even just that shows that you personally are working towards your awareness. You're like, hey, what do I need? Even that's like an introspective question.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I'm asking what I need, but I'm definitely asking yeah, well, what do I learn? What do I learn from it?
Mm.
What do I need from the meditation? I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Like, what's going on in there? It's like, I
Hmm.
think that's so valuable, you know? It's like to always ask that type of thing rather than how can I cover this up, you know, which is common. Like how can I cover this need up? Like rather than find out what the issue is, how can I cover it up? And that's you know that's like an end. That's how a lot of problems start. That's like an age old thing, you know. That's why we have this you know consumerist society. I suppose we're always trying to fill that hole, right? And it's like I guess that's the big lesson too. That's I guess a lesson I keep coming across in all these things is like you know like you can't. I don't think you can. You can't use an external entity or person or whatever. I think to fill that. I mean, and that's what I see.
Hmm. Hmm.
Although
Yeah,
you can try.
definitely. Yeah. Cup runneth over, right? That's
Right.
you got to fill your cup up, right? And you got to do that by buying shit. I'm just kidding.
One more girl. One more girl. One more car. One more paycheck. One man just after the fuck. There's one more paycheck, right? And you know, it's like that stuff.
It's the slippery slope, man.
Oh
It's just
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
The cup runneth over. That right there is absolutely true.
Yeah, and I think the question that was challenging for me initially was like, okay, well, how do I fill this cup up? Like, what does that even mean?
Mm,
And like, what is filling the cup? It's not water.
mm,
Like, what is that that's filling the cup up?
mm,
Well, there's different words for it. The Bible calls it spirit.
mm,
In Chinese, in Eastern, sorry, in Eastern philosophy, they call it Shakti.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've heard of prana
Mm-hmm.
or chi.
Mm-hmm.
Now these are like different, from my understanding, like different words for the same thing, which
Mm.
is that's what they're talking about with the cup runneth over is, this internal energy. And well, how do you cultivate that
Mm.
is the question, right?
Mm.
And
Mm.
well, meditation is a great path to having the stillness
Mm.
to be able to observe the energy within your body
Mm.
because you create distance from yourself.
Mm.
When you meditate, you're creating distance. You're creating, the more you meditate, the more distance you create.
Mm.
That's why it's a great practice. It's
Mm.
like you're practicing the ability to have this gap. So when things come up in the
Mm.
real world, like every day, like right now, as you're saying something, as I feel an emotion, maybe it's something I didn't agree with, or maybe it's something I did agree with.
Mm.
I'm able to sort of just sit in the back and just kind of observe myself feel those things.
Mm. Mm.
That's why meditation is beautiful. And
Mm.
when you get in tune with that and you're able to see yourself, then you can start to cultivate this Shakti pot, the Shakti flow, which
Mm.
I'm no expert at, but some fascinating work by Michael Singer, which I always recommend to everybody because he's just amazing
Mm.
at understanding these concepts.
Mm.
So that's why I think meditation is so beautiful, man. It gives you, for me at least, this is my
Yeah.
perception of it. It gives me that space,
Yeah,
and
totally. And that
a lot
space,
to have that cup runneth over.
that space is where all the action is. I mean, that space is where all the manifestation can take place, and that's where creating that space is like creating the world. That's like creating opportunity for life. I think it's like you build that space between the action, like Pierre, I don't like your fucking eye color, and you can like create space where it doesn't hit so hard, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh, that's interesting. Well,
yeah,
I was born with the eye color, and I guess you don't like it, and that's okay. What else is going on? And you
yeah,
can see where that person is, or whatever it is, or a
yeah,
fucking dog barks at you, and you just have that power, that strength, and you can kind of offer that up to the world. And I think that the world, the universe, and even people, they want that, man. They're attracted to that. It's like, oh, you have something. Oh, you have awareness. Oh, good. Finally, something. Finally,
yeah.
something real. And so you're really cultivating the crop, if you will, that everyone needs. It's in fucking desperate supply here on planet Earth right now. This crop of awareness. So why not cultivate that, right?
For sure, man. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, man. No, that's cool. So have you been into kind of that for a while, like doing some meditation as your daily part of your practice?
Yeah,
Yeah.
since I was like 18.
No shit.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a long time, man. I had like a natural. I didn't have a natural inclination to do it, but I initially wanted to do it to, uh, get rid of anxiety,
Hmm.
social anxiety.
Hmm.
And so I heard from somebody that meditation was a good way to calm your nervous system when you're speaking to people.
Hmm.
So that's how it started. Just trying to be able to be like more calm in social environments.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What do you find is your go-to coping strategy?
Uh, for what? For
Like in
meditation or for?
no in social circumstances, do you become quiet?
Well, I think it depends, man.
Hmm.
Uh, not That's not true. Ultimately, let go. Uh,
Hmm.
so when you feel, when I feel, let's say, attention
Hmm.
to to respond a certain way,
Ah.
to get a certain response, or
Hmm.
to act a certain way,
Hmm.
to just kind of let go of that a
Hmm.
little bit.
Hmm. Because you're probably
Like,
going to ruin it.
what's that?
You're probably going to ruin it if you act. Whatever that go-to action is, for me anyway, is like my response is like, you know, run away. I have to get out of here. Everyone's looking at me. Blah blah blah. Nobody likes me. I can't do this, I can't be here. And so when I'm able to like let go of those things and just kind of, it's like you realize that a lot of those patterns, it's like with more awareness, you can just kind of, yeah, but I can be here. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can. And it's like once you can start to develop that muscle, that was my experience. That almost was a meditation for me, developing that even in social situations.
Well, man, meditation is called a practice for a reason. It's the
Mm.
practice for what you just described.
Mm.
It's a practice for the real world. So then you
Mm.
can do what you just said, which is
Mm-hmm.
just kind of watch yourself play this stupid game,
Mm-hmm.
this silly game,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
be so identified. Like everything you said there was I. When I am like this, when I am like that. To to get away from the I and sort of like just watch this I character
Right. Like who
do
is
its
this
thing.
guy? Who is this guy telling me I can't be here?
Bro,
Telling me I'm not supposed to be here. Who is this guy?
bro, he's just like our experiences.
Right. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
like a computer is a blank computer when you get it, and then the programs, which are our life experiences, are what determine the software. So it's just the software running, which has been programmed from our life. Uh,
To-
yeah. But that's why
Totally.
meditation is so critical, right? Because then you just get to look at your software and be like, yeah, this software is kind of fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
kind of, I say that tongue in cheek, kind of fucked up. I say that like as a joke. It's just like it's got flaws. Everybody's
Yeah.
got flaws.
At the very least, it's not optimal. It's like it's not optimal. What is this pattern that keeps happening? I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not allowed to be here. Everyone thinks I'm weird. It's like at the very least, it's like okay, but like, where did that come from, man? Like, what reference experiences drew that into me?
And it's not even accurate. It's your own perception of the situation it's the has a perception of how it's being perceived by others, which is not even accurate. So because
Easily.
you don't know what other people how people are perceiving you, so it's kind of silly to identify with it in the first place because you don't know. So letting go is a great way to just like
Uh,
not be so identified with the I and kind of like chill out a bit and just kind of watch the whole internal and external ordeal take place.
I really
Or deal with it, or just the experience of life,
yeah,
your experience of life.
yeah, I really tried to small chunk that a lot for me. I would hear those like, no, I can't be here. Everyone thinks I'm stupid. And what I tried to do with for myself was I small chunked it. I was like, well, okay, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to be here, or maybe everyone is laughing at me. It's like, could I stay a little longer? Could I stay 3 minutes longer? I'd be like, well, okay, I can just 3 minutes though, and then I'm gonna leave. I'd be like, okay, and I did that numerous times, like just 3 minutes, and I was able to do that, and I'd be like, cool, you can go, and then I started to get a grip on myself a little bit, and I'd be like, okay, well, I stayed the extra 3 minutes. It's like, yep, you're good, go ahead. And then when I was back next time, I could feel that again. You're not supposed to be here. Everyone thinks you're dumb. It's like, I hear you, man, but again, this time we're gonna stay 3.5 minutes. And I started to get a handle on that fucking voice. And it was like, oh, okay, 3.5, but then you have to go. And I was like, cool. And I started to extend that window, and that's sort of how I was able to develop it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I understand. I
mm,
understand. I think even letting go, like you mentioned, getting a handle. I think just letting go of the handle.
yeah, even better. That's probably better.
Just like you don't need a handle. I think that's like the essence of
Yeah.
of the real growth. There's a really great analogy I heard once uh, of 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 being in the tug of war with a NFL football team,
Mm,
and it's you versus the football team. And if you win, if you win and walk away with the win, then you get your freedom. And it's like, okay, so you have two choices. You can like dig your heels in the ground and try and pull. There's no way you're going to win the tug of war.
mm,
So let go.
Mm,
and then you walk
mm,
away and you win.
mm, mm, mm.
It's like
Yeah,
the simplest answer. It's like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
I gotta pay credit where it's due. Like that's again Michael Singer. Like that's one of his analogies, and like
It's
it's
smart
really
though.
true. You know, you
It's
don't
like
need a
I
you
don't
just
need, and I guess in a way that is kind of what I was trying to do, which is like that voice, which is like, oh, you're not supposed to be here, you're dumb, all this. And it's like I'm trying to be like, okay, but I'm just gonna be here a bit. Like
yeah,
I don't need you though.
yeah.
It can be quite intrusive at times.
Yeah, yo,
Like
exactly. And like what you're saying is like, I get you, I get you. Yeah, and like it's not easy to just hop in to the tug of war and let go of the rope because you're so used to gripping on the rope.
right, because you always go to grabbing it, and you have
So
to
you're
like
like,
tell
you're
yourself like hey,
like letting go a little bit. You know,
like yeah,
can I let
just a
go a
little,
little? Can I let go? Yeah,
just a little, and then you slowly like because you got to train yourself, right? So you train, especially you're in a fucking nightclub or something like. It's hard to do, so you got to kind of train yourself. Like, oh, but it's okay though, man.
yeah,
And you slowly gain that. So again, mindfulness, man, meditation, like awareness, bro. This is like
yeah,
this is like the new cool, man. It's the new cool, mindfulness.
yeah. It's definitely getting traction, man. I mean, a Calm is worth like a couple $1 billion or something like that. The app, you know,
Mm.
it's definitely got a market valuation, so that means people are adopting it. I don't know
Wow.
what it's actually worth, but it's in the billions. I remember reading. I was like, "Whoa, that's impressive, man." And yeah, like what you just mentioned about the club and the noise and everything. It's like, yeah, that's the reason that meditation is so important because then you're practicing off the court
Mm.
before you get into the tug of war with life. You know you're like finding stillness. You're letting go of your thoughts and your emotions during meditation. So when it comes to the real world, you're a little bit you've practiced the piano. You've practiced letting go, and you can kind of interact with the world more efficiently. But that's just been my experience, man. And like that's just been some things that have helped me, and I recommend them a lot. Everyone's got their own path. I think it's just important to realize that you are not who you think you are, and that there you create separation between who you think you are, your character, this Pierre person,
Mm.
this Luke person.
Mm.
Create that separation and like try try your best to live a happier life by not by letting go and
Mm.
and sort of like realizing how miraculous this experience is,
Mm.
being on this dot, this
Mm.
pale blue dot in
Mm.
the middle of fucking nowhere. There's a
Mm.
great image called the pale blue dot. Look at that image. It's Earth from like just 2.2 million miles away or something. Do you want to talk about business at all?
Yeah, I mean, sure, yeah, we kind of bet. Like, I mean, I think it
I didn't
all.
sound too enthusiastic. We shouldn't talk about business then.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, who knows? We just.
Because you mentioned it
No,
initially.
I did. Yeah, that was originally what I was thinking. Because it's funny, man. Like when I first started doing these vids, it's really funny, man. Like I first started doing these vids, and I talked about like psychedelics. I made one video on it on psychedelics, um, because I kind of wanted just to get it out of the way because it was a topic I knew about, and I felt like I understood as much as someone can. Like I understood some aspects about it. So I made one video about it, and I basically just said, this is my understanding of these things, and this is really all I'm going to say. And now I'd like to get on to talking about like relationships and maybe business or like meditation and stuff. And anyway, and that one video about psychedelics has like by far my most views ever, like by far my most comments. Like the huge enthusiasm was for that one video. So I so it's crazy. It has like yeah, like probably 20 to 30 times more than any of my other videos. And so I keep getting it's like I for some reason the universe wants seems to want me to, and every other person I talk to eventually psychedelic seems to come up. Maybe I'm bringing it up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sort of like a self fulfilling prophecy.
I
I
think
mean,
so.
you ask people to come on the show that have similar interests, and then they end up. What do you know? The guy that's into spirituality ends up like psychedelics,
What a mess. It's all
and and then you attract your audience. You have your niche clearly.
right, right. It's all kind of
Good
like that,
stuff,
isn't it?
man.
Yeah,
Good
no.
stuff. These
Yeah,
are they're interesting medicines. If they call you and you think you are curious about them, try them. And if you don't feel called to them, you don't feel curious about them, meditate because
mm,
that'll get you to the same thing.
I totally agree with that. Um, yeah, no, and like even on a business end, like
Maybe
I
not entirely to the same thing, but it can. Sorry, just to interject. It can't get you to the same thing, but what it can do is open your mind's eye, which is what most people use psychedelics for. This psychedelics are like taking the fast track to that experience. But
and look,
anyways,
man,
moving on.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like, yeah, look, man. There's no as Tim Ferriss. You're a fan of Tim Ferriss,
Mm,
as he says. There's no biological free lunch. Okay, so
pretty much.
you take Adderall. Yeah, okay, man, you're getting a lot done on your fucking laptop for sure, but there's a cost to be paid in
Yeah.
something. So there,
Mm,
you take steroids. That's cool, man. You're gonna get jacked, but there is a cost to it, right? He says there's no biological free lunch. There's balance in everything, and psychedelics are the same. You don't just go to say, especially with ayahuasca. There's it's a challenging undertaking, and it's a female spirit, I might add, and these women are not offering themselves to you just for nothing. Like they
mm,
want a value reciprocation, and ayahuasca and is the same. So you always have to bring something to the table. So there's no silver bullet, but yeah, man, no meditation, bro. Get on it, everybody. Just I used to make
mm.
videos constantly about. I would like just tell people meditate 3 minutes a day and blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's tough though because there's a lot of like there's a lot of like long routes to the path to the result. There's a lot of different routes to the result that people want from meditation, right? Like
Mm,
a lot of people say, like, well, I don't know, I've tried meditation, meditate, I can't do it. It's like, well, have you tried to play the piano if you've never played it before? Like, you're not gonna be able to play the goddamn piano. So why do you think you're gonna be able to meditate right away? It's like it's a practice. You gotta try this. You
mm,
gotta practice this thing,
mm,
and
mm,
if you can learn from people who do it that live a life you wish to live and find out how they do it. Find multiple people that
mm,
do it, that live a life you wish to live. For me, that's like successful entrepreneurs that are extremely conscious and are aware. So I resonate with that archetype. You know, Ray Dalio, Michael Singer, there's other ones as well. The point being is like I can relate to them because I have different similar aspirations to their life path.
mm,
So find that for you.
mm,
Find out how those top people do it and that you aspire to be like, um, and triangulate their ideas
mm,
to find your own way
mm,
and experiment until you find your way. Mm,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
yeah,
Definitely,
sweet.
mentors is absolutely key. Yeah, there's no question about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah. So we're definitely resonating on similar opinions on a lot of those things. On psychedelics are powerful and valuable. Meditation's absolutely a tool that's incredibly important. Um, yeah, and like I know that even with business, that's something I'm new to, so I'm just looking into this now. But from what I understand, there's a lot of principles that are universal and that overlap into different aspects of life. Like the same thing that makes you a really good the same things that makes you a really good soccer player, when you're done playing soccer, you can transfer a lot of those mentalities into business or into relationships. And so that's kind of where I'm beginning to look now. It's like I've sort of took time in my life to look at myself, to look at spirituality, to look at like relationships, to learn how things work. And now I'm beginning to say, oh, okay, like what's some other areas? Like, okay, perhaps business. Like what would I be able to offer to that sector of my life? So that's where I'm starting to look at these things. That's where I'm starting to look at, as you say, finding mentors in that department.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, I understand. So you're looking to get into business, and you're trying to make sure it aligns. You're not trying to. You're making sure it aligns with your interests.
Mm. Mm.
Is that accurate?
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah. I'm trying to find out like what skills and what sort of ideas do I have that are marketable that I can believe in. And that's where, like even just meditation. That's why when I started this channel, even I was just talking about what I knew: mindfulness, meditation, relationships, networking. Let me put that out there and let's see. And how can I build upon that? So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand, man. It's that's how it starts. You just got to kind of follow your curiosities, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Follow your curiosity, man, and then see where it leads you. And yeah, it's got to have like it's got to have a reciprocation from people, and people need to, it's got to be something people want, obviously, and that's the name of the game. But if you can somehow overlap those two things like that, and the thing you're curious about, the thing you desire, and you can
Mm.
overlap that with something that I'm hesitant to say like the market. I'm just saying
Mm.
the thing that people need.
Mm.
Then
Mm.
then you can you can find something that's a real win-win for your life. You
Mm.
know,
Mm.
that's the winning combination there.
Mm-hmm. Mm. That's good advice, man. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Thought
bro.
a lot about it.
Yeah. Well, you've gone on a pretty good journey yourself because you seem to have found like a pretty good niche for yourself with your sort of on.
there's yeah, there's a third element to this as well,
Mm.
which is your nature.
Mm.
What
Mm.
is your nature, right? So it's like, what are you curious about? What is your pull? What are you passionate about? What is your nature? Like, what are you naturally inclined to be good at? For me, I'm a systematizer. Like,
Mm.
I'm really good at like getting into developing systems. So I often, I actually don't mean to bring this about myself, but I mean
Mm.
the way I found this out about myself is through a test called the Colby test.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great personality test. Another test is like the Myers Briggs personality test, 16 personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding your nature through personality tests, asking people who know you deeply what your strengths and weaknesses are,
Mm.
um, putting in a list of your likes and your dislikes and your natural capabilities and your things that aren't so natural to you, and getting this feel of like your nature, your curiosities, and then the market and or people. I don't
Mm.
know the market. What people want.
Mm. Mm.
You align those three things. Whew,
Mm.
you can get those things right, man.
Mm.
Out of the park. Right? And I learned that from an interview that Tom Bewley and Ray Dalio did. I thought it was just so eloquently put by Ray. And
Mm.
like, yeah, I really like that philosophy of nature,
Mm.
natural, innate curiosity and pull,
Hmm. So
and
that
then
came from Ray Dalio, actually.
then economics. Yeah, what people want.
Uh
Yeah,
huh. Yeah. Wow. That's very cool. That's very
yeah.
cool for him to say
Yeah, it's
that.
a good framework. Again,
Mm-hmm.
like I mentioned, systems like
Mm-hmm.
that is great for my mind because it's like a system. It's like, okay, this is now a system I can break down and have answers to,
Mm.
and so it works well for me. But I told some of my other friends, and they really resonated too. So I think it
Mm.
just kind of makes things simple for people,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah. No, that's very cool. I mean, he would know, right? He understands certainly economics, but it's interesting too. Like, like the market. It's like there are market. There are always going to be market pressures, whatever type of environment you're in, even if you're a lion. There is a market out there. There's a mating market if you're a lion. There's a there's a quantity of lionesses, which is your sexual marketplace if you're a lion. There's a quantity of animals. There's gazelles. There's fucking antelope. This is all the marketplace, and as a lion, you have to find out, well, what are my skills able to procure from this marketplace? Like what lionesses can I attract? What fucking game can I hunt down? Like those are natural market pressures, and I think that like economics and like like the product marketplace is still some extension of that.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. Well, that's cool, man. Well, bro, we're coming up here to like almost 6:45, and I know you
So we can go till 6 if you want, man.
cool, man. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
no,
Um,
no worries.
yeah. If you want, I can. You mentioned yesterday you had a friend. You shouted him out, Shane, and he was on Black Magic Alchemy, and
Hmm.
I went over and checked him out on his YouTube and stuff. I love that man. He's and chaga mushroom and the root beer elixir and all that. I really resonated with that, man. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, dude, Shane's a great guy.
Yeah.
That's actually why I have to hop off at 6 because
Oh.
we're actually going to catch up.
Oh, cool. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Well, he
Yeah,
was.
Shane and I have we met through a friend of ours, Marcus, who's
Mm,
a gentleman and a scholar as well,
good.
and he introduced Shane and I one time at a cafe, and the three of us like always go on these cabin trips, and good friends, man. We all have very similar interests, and they're brothers of mine, you know.
Cool, man.
What did
Yeah.
you like about what made you bring that up? And I was gonna ask you, what did you like about it?
Yeah. Well, after we talked yesterday and you mentioned that, I was like, I need to go over and check this out. I'm interested in chaga, and I went on and checked out some of his vids. And I think I saw you guys up searching in California or something, in the searching for mushrooms in the woods or something like that, and you were like chopping them off and everything. Yeah, it's just cool. I liked the vibe. I liked what you guys had going on. I was like, that's a kind of business that interests me. Like, wow, selling chaga mushroom, like that's fucking I can get behind that. So that really got my wheels turning. I was like, yeah, that's interesting. Like, what are and a guy like a relatively young guy who started this business, he seems to be self fucking fulfilling, at least financially, and it's like I like that. I guess it was inspirational to me. You can tell him that. A little shout out from me here. It was a little inspiring to me to see that. I was like, this is fucking dope. Like, so yeah, that's why I brought it up.
Dude, yeah, Shane is very inspiring in that
Hmm.
sense, and in the sense that he's truly a advocate for. I'm gonna say a quote of his, which is very cheesy: living, laughing, and having fun.
I think I saw that on some girl's wall
And
recently.
what's
I
that?
think I was over at some girl's house and she had that on her wall. Live, laugh, love.
Exactly. It's actually like my buddy Marcus and I have like a joke about like pillows when you go into houses that say
Yeah.
like "home sweet home."
But it's true though, man. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's true.
Yo, dude, all respect to people that like it. I just find it humorous. It's just funny. There's probably things that I do that are so ridiculous. Like, you idiot, you sit there, shut your eyes, and breathe. Like, there's a world to experience, idiot. It's like, so people laugh at me too. It's all good. But I brought that up because that Shane is a big his philosophy is, and
Mm,
he really embodies it. He has
yeah,
fun with his company,
yeah,
and he is passionate about it, and
mhm,
he really does enjoy the life he lives and has fun. And he's brought a lot of that into my life, and
yeah,
he's a
totally.
dear friend for it.
That's awesome, man. And I guess you know what, that it just kind of shows that it's important, and I guess that was another reason too. I thought because it showed me again like it's so important to like connect, like even like we're doing, like connecting with like-minded people that can be like a mutually beneficial exchange in whatever it is, whether it's business, whether it's like your dating relationships, whether it's your friend relationships. I just got it just again, it's sort of like reaffirmed for me, like no, like that's important, like, and it can be done, and as well it can be profitable, so I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Most definitely, man. I mean, that's the economics part that is
Mm,
like important to nail, right? It's
mm,
like you can be very good at something naturally. You can be passionate about it, but if it's economically not viable,
mm,
well, you got to readjust because you
mm.
got to live. And
Mm.
it's not a bad thing to want to make money. Money
Mhm.
is amazing.
Mhm.
You can support your friends, you can support your family during times like right now where people are struggling. And if you have money, you can help them. And so money's the economics aspect of that equation is crucial, at least
Mm.
in my opinion,
Mm.
uh, for that reason.
Mhm. Yeah.
And ensuring the business is healthy, profitable, and really nailing down the unit economics of the product, making sure that it has a good profitability and profit ratio, and understanding those things on the front end before pursuing the company is like critical, man.
Mm.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, it's not
Whenever we're going down the business path, I'm
good.
leaning towards business because I've been working so much on business all week. I'm just
Let's
like
talk about fucking DMT, bro.
I need a Saturday for the DMT conversation, man. I'm working since you know I'm so grateful to um for the opportunities in life, man. But yeah, business has just been on my mind. That's why it keeps coming up in my
Yeah,
head.
no, that's okay, man. That's okay. I
I've
think
been working on it so much.
dude, it was super good, man. We fucking organically just hammered out both, man. Spiritual shit, business shit, and you know what, man? They can seamlessly transition sometimes. You know, it's like all these things can be connected. I think, and as long as you sort of prepare specifically for what you're doing. I mean, if you're in a meditation context, get the fuck in, get your headphones on, shut your eyes. That's meditation. When it's business, like you said, make sure the profit's there, make sure the money's there. There's nothing wrong with making money, and that's what's kind of that part all is new to me because I always I was so focused on just the spiritual, just the peace, just I want to be sort of aligned with the fucking Zen, and that's what I wanted. And now I'm starting to add on, okay, but it's also good and also healthy to find a way to make that stuff profitable. So now I'm beginning to see that. Now I'm looking for people, looking for like mentors, looking for companies that are doing that in a way that still aligns. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is possible. So I think it's cool.
Exactly, yeah. And it's all about finding that
Mm.
what you just said there. It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, if that guy's doing it, I can try it too. Maybe that's possible for me too. And like that's what it's all about, man. Is like just that's why I think sharing is important,
Mm.
and like because you can maybe inspire somebody the same way you just said. You know.
Totally, man. Totally. Because I would never have, when you mentioned that the other day, was like, oh, I should check that out. And when I did, it like, hit me and I was like, this is awesome. I'm like, this is what I'm looking for. These type of inspirations, these type of like, I guess just someone that sort of has already sort of taken that path so you can see, oh, it just the knowledge that, oh, that is possible doing that in a way that I think is cool, that you can make money and still be cool and do something good. Like, okay, cool, like let me start to look into these things a little more. So yeah.
Yeah, man. And I think the smartest way to approach the unknown is to find like this is another Ray Dalio principle, which is like find three people that have that, and then do what's called triangulating their opinions.
Hmm.
Schedule a call with all three of them, and find out their hourly rate. Maybe you can,
Hmm.
maybe in the beginning, for myself, for example, I would be like, hey, bro, how much can I pay you for 20 minutes of your time, or like 15 minutes of your time? I know your hourly rate is probably like 500. I could probably save up some money and then pay you for 20 minutes, and then get those nuggets of advice from like three different smart people is what I would do,
Hmm.
and then use all their information to come up formulate my own ideas and
Hmm.
have my idea be more accurately in alignment with what can work in reality because they've been there, they've done that,
Hmm.
and I don't have that experience of being there. So my ideas of reality may be flawed.
Hmm. Hmm. That's very good advice.
Yeah, and to this day, man, I mentors are huge, man. I have recently before this call, I got off the call with a mentor who is coaching me on an aspect, but not but I think the most important thing to remember when you find a coach or a consultant is do they have do they have what you want,
Hmm.
and do they understand the cause and effect relationship to how they got there.
Hmm.
And if they understand the cause and effect of relationship to how they got there and they've done it multiple times, they're a good mentor because they have like been there, done that experience, and can share with you how to get it done.
Mm.
And if you can find three people like that, man, you're going to be so close to so much further ahead than you can ever imagine. And like, man, I tell you, I've learned some things from people. I'm like, God, if I didn't pay this guy for an hour of his time, it would take me 3 years to learn this thing right here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it's pretty amazing what can come from surrounding yourself with brilliant people.
Totally.
Yeah.
100%, man. Yeah, that's very, very good advice. All of that.
And
Oh yeah.
sometimes they say no. I've reached
Yeah.
out to YouTubers and they've just been like, "Sorry, bro, I'm not interested." It's like, okay, all good.
Mm.
They're like, I want to understand how they do YouTube. They say no. All right, man, it's all good. Yeah.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been doing a little bit of that too. And some people are keen, like you were keen. Others I don't hear back from. Others it fizzles out. But yeah, I guess that's one way too, right? Like, hmm. Very cool, man. That's awesome. Okay, man. Well, yeah, bro. I guess we'll begin to wrap her up. You got a few things to do. Yeah, dude, man. I really appreciate you coming on, man, Pierre. This has been cool, dude. We got some interesting, definitely have some interesting ideas to share.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me on,
Yeah,
and
man.
it's been a pleasure. Thanks for reaching out and asking me to join.
Yeah, man. 100%. So, cool, bro. What's sort of on the horizon for you, sort of coming up in the next year or so, or do you have any like big sort of moves that you are working towards, or just more of the same, or
Mm, uh, yeah. Let go,
mm,
let go more,
mm,
and
mm,
and continue to uh, make progress on my immediate goals.
mm,
That will uh, that are the smaller step towards my big vision
mm,
and my long term goals. So yeah, man,
mm-hmm.
just making progress, enjoying the journey,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
living, laughing, and having fun.
Perfect.
I'm gonna get a pillow made with that on
That's
it.
it. You should do that. Give it to your
And
friend.
now it's on the record. I actually have to get it done.
You absolutely should.
I'm gonna get it made for Shane and send it to him.
Yeah, just show it to him. Just have it sent to him. By the way, bro, I got a really special gift coming to you. It's like what?
Dude, he'd be so happy.
That's classic.
And, yo, dude, really appreciate you having on,
Yeah,
and thanks for all the work that you do, man. You're mindful development. When I saw your YouTube name, I was immediately like, yeah, I'm game.
cool.
Uh, so I appreciate that you're putting yourself out there, doing these interviews, and making it happen, man. So
Mm,
thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
awesome, awesome, man. I appreciate it as well.
Yeah, and
Okay,
keep in
bro.
touch. Let's that interview, dude.
Okay,
Pleasure.
take care.
You too.